My 23F boyfriend, 23M, of 1 year is bad at everything and it's making me lose respect for him. A little relatable because I am also bad and very impractical at many daily tasks. Okay, so I am going crazy in my head here because I don't know if I'm just the world's hugest or what. Basically, my boyfriend, let's call him Steve, is just not good at doing anything. Wait, that's not true. He's good at outdoorsy stuff and is apparently pretty good at his job in catering. Aside from that, question marks. For example, I feel like I can't do anything with him that involves any skill or is even slightly competitive because 1, he's a sore loser, and 2, he never wins. Poor guy. Poor Steve. Damn. How is he that bad? Maybe he's just not the competitive type. When I stayed with his family over Christmas, they had a Scrabble board, and because it was snowy and boring, of course I tried to pass the time playing Scrabble with him. And I'm not even a good Scrabble player, and I still crushed him every game, and eventually after a few I just couldn't play anymore because I had to spend like 10 minutes after every game making him feel better about himself. Pitiful. Pitiful. Why? At this point he should be used to losing, so he should have some kind of thick skin. After giving up on Scrabble, we switched to playing Sorry. We had to stop that too because I couldn't handle the mental toll of continuously beating him at Sorry. Imagine being so bad at a game that your girlfriend is having mental issues with, with beating you. That is so pathetic. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Another time we went to a board game night with some friends and he couldn't understand the rules for most of the board games, and afterwards vented to me about how stupid the games were and why there was no point having rules so complicated no one could grasp them. He was the only one who couldn't grasp them. Is your boyfriend stupid? Other times we play casual stuff like air hockey or foosball, which I didn't think even required any strategy other than spinning the little plastic dudes really fast, and he'd still lose every time and get upset about it. I don't care about winning, I just want to have fun, and it feels like it's impossible to have fun because playing anything with him feels like playing against a goddamn 5-year-old. Okay. Let me clarify, when I was saying I'm bad at practical stuff, I meant things like fixing stuff around the house, fixing a car. I didn't mean I'm bad at everything. But why is he so bad? Is it a medical condition? But wait, this thread isn't titled "My boyfriend is terrible at games," so here's some other stuff. He didn't manage, so I went to his place later and found he downloaded the manual for the wrong router. It wasn't even for the right brand. I ended up fixing his problem and then he ranted to me about how all these router manufacturers make their manuals so hard to use, like there's some sort of deliberate conspiracy to keep everyone in perpetual confusion unless they're a genius. I'm not a genius, I'm just capable of following simple written instructions. Fucking IQ of a barn door, this guy. Also, he wants to go back to school to do a master's degree, but he needs to do some prereqs, including a math unit where he's struggling with a lot of the material. But as far as I can tell, it's all the stuff he learned in high school. Lately, he's been posting Facebook updates about how hard it is to learn logarithms. Imagine being his girlfriend and you're just so ashamed every time you see a Facebook notification. It's just your boyfriend complaining about high school maths equations. That is the dumbest shit I've read today. I'm getting tired of being expected to be sympathetic when I increasingly just want to yell, well, maybe if you weren't such a dumbass, but if I even hint that maybe he should be able to deal with his own emotions, e.g., honey, I know I couldn't get the pizza dough the shape you wanted, but it's not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, right? I get accused of being unsympathetic to his feelings. Well, what about my feelings that I don't want constant rolling coverage of every tiny thing that bothers you? Fair, valid. Especially if you're a person that complains a lot, that can rub off on your partner. A lot. Mentally, it's a burden. If you're very negative the whole time, your partner is going to feel like this negativity is part of your character. But he's also an incredibly sweet, hardworking person who treats me well, and his boss and co-workers all say he doesn't just work hard, but is actually really competent at his job, and he did pretty well in high school, and he's lived on his own since he was 16 and kept himself alive the whole time, and no one else has ever said or hinted to me, gee, your boyfriend is kind of a dumbass. So what the fuck? Is it just me? Am I the crazy one? Am I a bitch? No. Okay, you have to think about it this way. Your boyfriend, when he is with you, obviously is going to be different than from how he is at work because he feels safe with you. He feels safe to express his emotions, to just be himself without being the filtered version that he shows to other people. That is probably also what causes him to be so clumsy and so bad at so many things. Because when we are with the person that we love, we kind of become a child again. I don't know, maybe he wants your attention and he shows it in a way where he fails at everything or is bad at everything and sees that as a way to connect to you because you seem to be good at doing everything. Could be. Or he's just a dumbass. But luckily, We have updates. September 6, 2015, 2 months later. I'll save you some scrolling. We broke up. That's unfortunate. Some more background. My ex graduated with a degree in biomedicine last year, but never actually looked for work in his field as far as I know. Biomedicine? That sounds pretty hard to me. I'm a social science grad, so anything that involves STEM fields, count me out. I was good at chemistry, that's it. This didn't strike me as a problem at first, since he's always taken care of himself just fine and he never seemed that enthusiastic about his degree anyway. I spent several years after high school working odd jobs while I figured out what to do with my life, most of the way through nursing school now. So who am I to judge, right? But gradually I just got more and more of a sinking feeling about things, mostly because he kept talking about how he wanted to get a PhD and become a professor, and I felt professorship was a pretty optimistic goal for even the most brilliant of students. But how do you tell your boyfriend you think their dreams are wildly unrealistic? So he decided he was going back for his master's. Cool. If there's any kind of communication between you and your partner, you should just be straight up with him. Just be honest. Tell him, hey, I think your dreams are kind of unrealistic, but I'm still here to support you. And that's the important part. Even though you may think it's unrealistic, you still have an obligation to support your partner. In my opinion, that is my view of partnership. After I posted the original thread, I realized I'd never really spoken to him about his negativity while we were both calm. So I sat him down one day and told him that while I was always going to be there for him in times of real distress, I couldn't take all his complaining anymore. I told him it was exhausting to constantly have to attend to one crisis or the other, and that perhaps he could benefit from seeing a therapist. In addition to everything else, he's also had depression on and off, and I figured it was a good chance to learn better coping skills. Being in a negative space constantly just doesn't make you want to be with that person, because you know, oh my god, I'm going to my partner and I was excited before, but now I only feel dread because he has been negative constantly throughout the relationship. Well, that didn't go over well at all. He immediately accused me of not caring about his feelings and that he should be able to say whatever he wanted to me, and psychologists just want to give you happy pills to make you think like everyone else. When I told him psychologists aren't licensed to prescribe medication, he went silent for a while and said, it doesn't matter. They still just want to convince you it's fine to be a loser and everything's okay with you. Such a narrow-minded perspective. When he could really benefit from talking to someone professional, he's trying to make himself feel superior because he's so insecure about everything else in his life. Since he seems to be such a failure at everything else, he's just trying to find a way to make himself look better than other people. I asked him if he thought he was a loser, and he said he doesn't think he's a loser. He just thinks it's important to stay aware of your flaws and punish yourself when you mess up, which is why he runs so much. It's fine to stay aware of your flaws, but punishing yourself when you mess up is just self-torture. It's like being on a diet, slipping up once and then starving yourself the next 4 days. You wouldn't do that to your best friend. You wouldn't do that to the person you love. Why would you do that to yourself? After my failed attempt at talking, I felt like a giant dumbass for not realizing the relationship was doomed from the start, but I was dreading actually breaking up with him until the boat ride. The boat ride. Alright. All went well for about 10 minutes until we had to turn the boat, and of course turning a sailboat can be tricky if you've never done it before. As we're trying and failing to turn the boat, I can see him getting more and more agitated, and I try to lighten the mood by joking about our struggles, and he replies with something like, oh sure, it's fine to be shitty at things. Who needs standards? And I should have known not to expect to be good at sailing. I tell him there's no reason he needs to be good at something we're just doing for fun, and just try to enjoy the activity. Something that I'm sick of saying and he's evidently sick of hearing, because it sets him off on one of his rants about how he can't do anything right and people who don't care how well they do are dumbasses. After that, he's too upset to talk and snaps at me every time I ask him to hold a rope or whatever. All because he had trouble turning a fucking hire boat. So I turned to him, yelled, "You're dumped!" jumped into the water and swam back to shore. Just kidding, I only did that in my imagination. I broke up with him a couple days later. You had me there for a second. Yeah, how's that fun? I can just imagine being on the water with someone like that. It's not like you can escape easily. Are you actually gonna jump off the boat and yell, fuck you, see how you find your way back to shore yourself? And there's also a little TLDR at the end, which is kind of funny. There's something wrong with me and I need to seriously analyze my partner choices. Yes, you do. What the hell happened? It's fine if you're bad. Don't ruin the mood of everything, every activity you participate in. Find good coping mechanisms and try to not be as negative. Shouldn't be that hard.